Perth people. Why are their normals here so boring? I guess I'm too short for this video. Bye.
So I just want to discuss a couple of things that really kind of get to me, okay? Number one, Perth people love to complain about kind of two things, really. One is traffic. We all complain about traffic. I drive a car, so I understand that at some points in time, I am traffic. And that's one thing I think people don't get is you might say, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. Well, you're not. You are the traffic. If you weren't there, the traffic would be less. If everyone had an alternative way of getting around, the traffic wouldn't be so bad and you wouldn't have to complain about it. We do have an alternative way of getting around. Perth has a pretty decent public transport system. Look, yes, I know Perth's public transport system is not the best. It does run kind of slowly. It's not as frequent as some public transport systems in big cities. But I guess one thing you have to think about is we don't have the population, nor do we have the population density. Babe, I don't want to upset you because everyone's different, everyone has differing points of views, and that's what I want to start. I want to start a conversation between you, between your friends, between us and you, between the internet, and that's my goal. That's our goal. That's why I'm doing this video, because I think as a topic, it's not discussed very, on a very intellectual level or on a level that really call academic, in Perth. I get excited when people talk about important issues. Yes, we can talk about The Bachelor. Yes, we can talk about what happened on Home and Away last night. I'm not really interested in it. It's not really my cup of tea. It may be yours. That's fine. Why people in Australia, I guess, not receptive to different things, not receptive to change, and I know, as I said, it's not everyone. Why do we complain about traffic yet not use public transport? This has kind of been triggered by a conversation I had or an argument I had on Facebook with someone I don't know. And it essentially went like this. It was an article from, I think, Perth Now, or one of the other kind of, media outlets, and it was something along the lines of, funding has been given for a new bypass or a new road or something along those lines. And there was a conversation started between this one lady and a bunch of other people. And they were having an argument about, the lady was, I live north, we should have a wider freeway north of the river and blah, blah, blah. And other people were saying, no, well, you've got a train. She's like, the train is for poor people, I don't want to take the train, it's smelly. And that kind of really annoyed me because I'm a person who uses the train. A lot of my family use the train, a lot of my friends use the train. A lot of people in general use the train. And in fact, our train system is not bad. It's not the best, but it's, pretty decent. It could run more often, but those kind of things need more people to sustain running more often, and it's just not something we're going to get if people are so afraid of taking the train. So I had a chat to this lady, made a comment, and she came back with the same kind of thing, I can take my car. The point I wanted to make was, why is everyone here so adamant about driving their car in such a private kind of space when you could share a kind of ride? It's like the ultimate ride sharing. It's like carpooling but on tracks. That's the cool thing about trains. You're kind of limited in what you can do while you're driving. Do your makeup, use your phone if you want to get a fine, but that doesn't seem like something most people want to do. But one thing I don't get is people say, if I take the train, I can't listen to my own music, I can't have my own space, there's a bunch of disgusting people on there. You can listen to your own music. Get a pair of headphones. In fact, it's probably better quality to listen to music on a pair of headphones than in your car, unless you've got a really amazing car stereo. Yes, you don't really get that personal space, but you kind of get other things as a trade-off. You get convenience. You don't have to drive. You don't have to stress about crashing your car. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for petrol. It may cost you $5, but that's so little compared to the things that we don't consider when driving our car, like the wear and tear, the maintenance. That's the thing about trains. You pay your fare, you get off, you're done. You don't have to worry about the stress of crashing your car. And that's something that I always worry about. I don't want to be in an accident. And in a train, it's pretty hard to be in an accident. It's on a track, it can't really go too far wrong. Not saying that everyone is going to have a car accident, but driving a car is probably not the safest thing to do when you can take the train. It's great for society. Doing things as a group is kind of how humans do stuff. when we all kind of spread out and do our own little thing, we don't have much interaction. And I think, you look back to the early days of Perth in the 60s and probably the 70s. Don't quote me on that, I'll correct it here if I'm wrong. We had trams, we had a light rail system. If you've been to Melbourne, you've seen their trams. Ours wasn't as extensive, but we had a system that was pulled up by the government because we had a plan at the time, and as misguided as it might have been, we thought cars were going to be the future. And we can't do anything about that now. We can't complain about what's happened in the past. We can only look forward. What I'd like to see for Perth is for people to be more understanding or accepting of, people's ability to share things. That's what public transport is. It's like a shared resource. You should be able to understand that public transport is a good alternative to driving. It's not the only alternative. I'm not unrealistic. I love having my car, it's so convenient. But taking public transport is also extremely convenient. I find it safer. Sure, you might see the odd dodgy person, but that's exciting. Have you been to another city like New York? People get on and ask for money, there's panhandling everywhere. You never know what's gonna happen, but it's still safe because there's this thing that happens when there's a lot of people around, and it's unlikely that someone's going to do something that's dodgy or dangerous or illegal when there's a lot of people seeing them doing it. You've got safety by numbers, it's convenient, it's easier than driving, I find. I went and had a look at the traffic on the Kwinana Freeway. This is travelling southbound on a busy, maybe it was a Monday or a Tuesday afternoon, probably around 3 or 4, maybe 4:30 in the afternoon, during peak hour as you would call it. Lots of cars on the road, traveling generally slower than you would normally travel, especially in an area where the speed limit would be probably 100 kilometers an hour. 90+% of the cars only had one person in them. I don't know about your car, but my car can pretty comfortably fit 5 adults. Getting one car that can hold 5 people comfortably, and only taking one person in it, boggles my mind. And you see a train go past and there might be 500 people in it, I'm guessing here, using so many less resources over the long term for one train to go up and back, or 50 trains to go up and back. They move infinitely more people and they're much more efficient. There's no traffic on a train track. You could have a train every 2 or 3 minutes with a good signalling system, which I believe Perth can do. You just can't do that on the roads because the more cars you introduce, the more people will drive, then the more people will then drive again, and people are only driving in their one car, so you've got 50 cars with 50 people as opposed to 50 cars where you can fit 5 people, so you can have 250 people, and it just kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe it's different for you guys. Share it with me in the comments if you think so. And look, I'm open to a debate about it, but I'm not going to get into like a little fight in the comments on YouTube or on Facebook. So keep it like intellectual, keep it on a level that, don't start fighting about stupid stuff like that. That's not really what I want to do. We can do that, a news article every day.